Welcome to the stream. We'll see what happens. I'm testing out some new equipment. That's what's going on. Right now, I'm actually on the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty on my PS5 on an SSD with a mouse and keyboard. And then I got a new mouse that I don't think I'm going to keep. It's the Logitech G604. I normally use a Razer MOBA mouse. And we're just going to kind of test out a few different things. So that is what is going on. So mouse and keyboard on the PS5, but the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty Cold War. Why not the PS5 version? Because I ain't got no 150 fucking gigs of free space on my 667 gigabyte SSD. It's really just that simple. I ain't got the room for that shit. But I have a $400 external SSD on my PS5. So it loads games just as fast as if it was on the internal. But I can't run the PS5 games from there. Everybody knows that. Bullshit. And I think I found my favorite weapon in the game. The one that I unlocked through the battle pass, the PP. The PP sub from Battlefield. I mean, it was out before Battlefield. I'm just saying that's where I first noticed the game, or the weapon in a game. And now they brought that SMG to Call of Duty. Yippee. See, that all rhymes. That doesn't mean I'm going to do well with it. I do well in Battlefield. I don't do well in this game. Plus, I'm on a mouse and keyboard. Everything's wonky and shit. Now, the stream is still at 30 FPS. I could have done it at 60, but I also have to test out my computer after, in which I can't do anything at 60 on that. So, days where I know for a fact that I'm only going to be playing on my PlayStation 5, I can do that. See? Super smooth. Smoother than my PC. And this is the PlayStation 4 version of the game. It looks better than the PC version. So that kind of tells you something right there. Oh man, this mouse is wild.
MTC is live. Bring the hammer down.
Could have had my first kill. Nope. This is fucking weird. New keyboard, new mouse,
We're in the lead.
new sensitivity settings. Oh man, I don't like this mouse. Sensitivity. Yeah, I can't do shit. What the fuck is that? Way too sensitive. I'm gonna have to change that next match. I can't even get a fucking kill. Yeah, I can't do this. Holy fuck around. No, I can't change it. That's fucking weird. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, no kills yet. Go figure, I'm on the console with a different mouse and keyboard, and this is the worst I've ever performed. Nope, can't get a kill. By the way, I am using the same mouse and keyboard I used to use. Jesus. Ah, got him. Still got it. Already had 3 eliminations. Considering how the fuck I started off. Oh, fuck you and your Gatling gun turret fucking thing.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Fuck you. Dirty bitch.
Multiple enemy spy plane contacts.
Fall out the window, bitch. Now we're getting caught up. That's what I'm talking about. Sit the fuck down.
Multiple enemy spy plane contacts.
Did I already run out of amp? No, I was gonna say.
Spy plane in the turn, reporting hostile contacts.
Holy shit, this is sensitive.
Spy plane just on 50%.
9-9.
Enemy napalm.
It's crazy, eh? How you change a couple of settings. And that's why I can't look at the chat. I would have had that son of a bitch! And I got him. I mean, I'm doing okay, but I'm just fucking annoyed. Fuck you and my fire. One of these days, I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Remember, when I play this game, fuck everyone. I can't read the chat. It gets me killed. I gotta pull a big shot streamer. Where you stream, but you don't look at the chat. Sit down, bitch. I'm telling you, that 3 kills, 1 death, 3 kills, 1 death, it'll come by. But if you're just tuning in, you probably didn't hear what I said at the very start. I am not on the computer. I am on my PlayStation 5 playing the PS4 version of the game. You probably couldn't even tell.
Trophy system identified.
Fuck you and your... Oh, shit.
Multiple enemy sentry turrets active. Don't do it for me. Get the win for Uncle Sam.
I'm 1 for 1, but I don't like that. Gatling guns, helicopters, turret machines. Bunch of dirty cunts in this game.
Target removed.
Filthy fucking cunts. It's definitely not the way I like to play the game. Fuck you. And then the noob tube. Hey, you like that?
Okay, I'm calling it.
1919.
Proceed to exfil
I'm
point.
even surprised I got that many kills.
TACOM, mission is FUBAR.
Threat neutralized. Gas mine
Let me
set.
back out of this bitch. In a moment. Oh, would you hurry up with the cutscene? No one gives a shit about seeing that. Come on, let's back it up. Back the fuck out of there. I ain't got time for this bullshit. Holy fuckaroni. Yeah, that's right, fuckaroni. It's when you fuck a pepperoni. It's a fuckaroni. Alright, I'm out. I'm out. I can finally... The PP. We're gonna call it a PP. There we go. Now I can start relaxing for a moment. And actually, wow, look at all the people in the chat. We know how to party. Hello. Hello. And hello. I really want a PC, but I don't think I can get one. I really want a PC as well, but I don't think I can get one. It's too much money. Okay, so now that there's a few people in here, I will recap on what the hell just happened. So I bought yesterday a Stream Deck. You know, ooh, the thing everybody has. And to be quite honest with you, it's a bit of a piece of shit. I'm trashing that bitch. I gotta take it back. So a Stream Deck, and mine doesn't look fancy because I honestly don't give a rat's ass about the fancy icons. But I mean, you'll be able to tell that with some of the icons that I have an actual picture of my microphone. I have a real picture of my camera in there. You could see that the light is on, right? If I turn the light off, the icon goes gray. All right, that's the digital version of the Stream Deck. It's $4 a month, $4.99. Yeah, it's $5 Canadian a month, so about $4 US a month. And then you could see the little shit streaming icon with the little green thing in the center showing that I'm streaming, versus the icon next to it, which is for when I'm recording. So that's very important because I don't do dual monitors anymore because it's too much shit on my desk. And my computer can't handle it. I know that sounds funny. What? Yes. When you're extending your monitors and you're not replicating them and you're doing an extension of your desktop monitor, and then you're running your browser and you're streaming your OBS and the game and you're doing everything from your main computer, even if you have a new computer. There's a lot of big-time streamers that are popping hundreds of thousands of dollars a month that have two computers. They treat their gaming computer like a console that goes into their streaming computer, like my PlayStation 5 right now is going through my computer, through my Elgato, and then I have a splitter, an HDMI splitter, and that's how I'm able to have my Nintendo Switch in there, an Xbox Series X if I had one, and all that kind of shit. So I bought a streaming deck, $225 fucking dollars with taxes Canadian for a little shit piece of plastic with 15 rubber buttons. And to me, it's just a complete fucking ripoff. Everybody and their mother, sisters, aunts, cousins, nieces, neighbor has one. That's a lot of people. And to me, it's just shit. It feels like a piece of shit. All the fucking icons were crooked. The LED screen in the back is all like off-centered. It's all shifted. Almost 15 to 20% of my icons on the right are all cut off by the border. I'll show you what I kind of mean, but not really. When you look at my white icons, I'll look at the chat in a moment because I don't want to get distracted with my train of thought. When you look at those icons, you notice how the microphone and the camera icon is like perfectly centered and there's like a white border going around it because the icon is perfectly symmetrical in the middle. Okay. So, on the Stream Deck, at the right part of the microphone, like where the foam is, half of the icon is gone. Because everything's shifted over and then there's like a big nasty black border on the left because of how they inputted the screen. So the whole thing was just a clusterfuck. And I'm like, that's what I paid $225 for. $225? What the fuck is that? Almost done my rant. Then I bought a new mouse because I'm playing again, to recap. $225. $5, are you kidding me? Oh yeah, $5, yeah, a month. It's a month and it has to be connected to the internet. So, I use a wireless mouse, I use a wireless keyboard, a shitty $30 keyboard that runs wicked on my computer. Because I can't stand wires. I got a PS5, I got a Switch, I got a DSLR camera, I got a MacBook, I got an audio interface, I got 2 keyboards, 2 mice, I've got my phone as my Stream Deck, I've got an XLR camera, I've got an Elgato light, I've got a TV, I've got 2 big, massive, honking, professional-grade studio monitors. I've got a lot of cables. And then I got an HDMI splitter. It's just like, oh my god, cables everywhere, but nicely managed. Where I draw the goddamn line in the sand, because I don't want to get wet, is my mouse and keyboard must not have any cables. I must be free. I must be set free. And that's why, with my regular wired Razer mouse, I got a $30 honkin' piece of shit keyboard. $30. It's like the cheapest wireless Logitech keyboard you can have. But you want to laugh? You want to know something? I love that goddamn keyboard. Love it to death. Now, is it as good as my $200 Razer RGB LED keyboard? Well, I mean, it doesn't look and feel as nice when you touch the keys. But that's a wired keyboard. Anyways, so I got this, and I'm almost done my rant. I got a Logitech wireless mouse. Phil, you should live here in India. Why India? Trust me, you could live here forever without even doing I know, that's what people say. Well, that's okay, I like random. As long as people are being nice. So I got a Logitech mouse. This was $100, actually almost $145 Canadian, but it was on sale $30 off. What's cool about this mouse, this is really important because this is what I'm testing out. That's why it's in the title of my stream. It's a wireless mouse, but it's also Bluetooth. On the Bluetooth, the single AA battery will last a whopping half a year. So I only need 2 AA batteries a year. Every 6 months, switch out a AA battery. This is for my PC now. But I tried it, and I played World of Warcraft, and my game was lagging really bad. Like, I mean, it was lagging bad. And I was like, why is my World of Warcraft never lags? But I found out it's not so much the game was lagging. It's as I was moving my character from side to side, it's almost like it was semi-letting go. It's almost like someone was you know, like when you move your character with the right analog button in a game, or you just move side to side? It's almost as if you were, like, letting go of it every, like, millisecond, so it kind of stuttered your game, even though your game's not stuttering. And I was like, oh my god, $130 fucking piece of fucking dog shit. So I switched it to Wi-Fi, the wireless mode. Oh, the wireless mode is amazing. It's just as good as my wired... Actually, you might be able to see it. This is a bit of a show and tell, but it's got wires and shit. Oh, there you go. It reaches, because it's no longer under my desk. This is what I'm using on my PlayStation 5 now. So this is a MOBA mouse. Notice how it's got nice buttons on the side. Very clearly laid out. Everything's just nice and neat, not overly flashy. But it's got a cable. Fuck cables. Did I mention that? So that's what I've been using for, what? Since Razer came out with mice, I've always been a Razer guy, even though their software is fucking shit. It's better than Logitech G. But that's another rant for another day. So that Razer mouse and this Razer keyboard is what wired again, is what's now, all the Razer shit is on my PS5. This is what I've been using on my PC for over half a decade. This hardware is over half a decade old. It's some really old shit. But it works, but I hate wires. So now I've got the wireless Logitech for my computer and the wireless Logitech mouse, but the reason I don't like it, I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. When you're on Wi-Fi mode, it's a lot more accurate, it's a lot better, but instead of the battery lasting an entire half a year, it only lasts 240 hours. Now that might sound like a lot, but I do about that many hours of gaming and shit on the computer since I YouTube full-time. Just wish I was getting paid like I was doing this bitch full-time. I go through that in about 3 weeks. I could maybe stretch a month. So that means I'm going to have to replace a single AA battery every single month instead of every half a year, because I'm no longer on the Bluetooth mode. There's a little button at the bottom at the top there. That's to toggle it between Bluetooth mode and Wi-Fi. Obviously, Wi-Fi drains a lot more power, blah, 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 blah. So it's not a reliable Bluetooth mouse. I paid $100 for this, 110 with tax. But there's a Razer wireless mouse similar to the one I just showed you a moment ago with swappable plates and all that bullshit. But it's $200, but it's got a built-in battery, and it can also be used wired or wireless. And the battery lasts 150 hours on a single charge, and it only takes an hour to charge it, and you can use it while you're charging it. Do you see where I'm going with this? For the extra $100, yes, I know it's double the price of this, but for an extra $100 in the long run, that might be the wiser purchase. So these are all these things. Sorry about the big rant, and, I started off with some gameplay right away. It was shitty because I'm trying out all this new gear, new settings, new sensitivity. This is, again, the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty Cold War, but on my PS5. And the reason for that is I just don't have the space to have the PS5 version on my PS5, because I'm forced to have it on the internal SSD. Plus, I don't have a 120 Hz capable screen anyway, so running this game at 120 FPS is fucking useless, and I don't really give a shit about ray tracing. Or 4K. I have a 6-year-old TV that's 1080p. So that's where a lot of people go, oh man, you're so lucky to have a PS5, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy I got a PS5. And yes, I am going to watch the chat in a moment. But you're really not missing out on much. So to recap, the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty, the PS4 version of this game that you saw me play on in the beginning, looks better and it runs better than the computer version of it on my computer. This was kind of one of my main go-to games that I've been complaining about, mainly because it runs like a pile of donkey shit lately on my computer. I can't play the game anymore at all. Even when I'm not streaming, the PC version on my PC just magically started stuttering a bit. 60, down to 57, back to 60, down to 58. And that constant fluctuation, even though it's very minute, is very jarring. Now, I understand I'm still streaming at 30. But in the future, this was the sort of the good news. Because my PlayStation 5 is doing all the heavy lifting, I can't do 4K and all that bullshit anyways. I will be able to in the future when I know I'm just doing Call of Duty. I know I'm just doing sports games and PS5 games, Hitman and all that. I will be able to start streaming at the full 60 FPS. So that's going to double the quality of my streams in terms of the frames. It'll be that much of a smoother experience. Right now, I still have it locked at 30 because I still wanted to go into World of Warcraft to test out my new mouse. Right? So anyways, these are all the different things that I'm doing. Sorry if that was like a really boring rant, but that is what's going on. That's why everything was different, and that's why, honestly, I sucked in that game. 19 kills, but I also died 19 times. I'm normally better than that. I normally get at least double the amount of kills that I do when I'm getting killed. So if I get killed 15 times, I usually have at least 30, 35 kills. Sometimes I can pop as high up as 50, 55 kills, die 20 times. That's not so bad. But in this case, I died 19 times, but I only got 19 kills with the new weapon, with the same mouse that I've been using for years, but on the PlayStation. So all those different features. Don't forget now, when I have this mouse here that I've been using for half a decade, oh, well, you should be used to it. You've been using it since like 2015, 2014 on your PC. Okay, great. But there's no Razer software on the PlayStation 5. There's no way for me to change the DPI settings and all that bullshit. Just a generic sensitivity of the mouse within the game itself. There's no Razer setting for it. Do you understand what I mean by that? So even though I'm using the same mouse, it's still incredibly different. It's night and day different, and my sensitivity is at the same number it is on PC. Okay, now let me recap on everything that you fine people have said. Type my name and enter if you need to get a hold of me. Thank you for the sub. We know how to party. I'm scrolling all the way up, sorry. That's kind of random. Mine lasts like a week, your battery. Mine lasts like 4 years. I have a Protus Spectrum by Logitech, and while it's slightly small, that's what she said, for my hands, same thing, it's the best mouse I've had. Sometimes things that are small can pack a big punch. I rarely use the wireless mouse. I subbed, and I thanked you. I think one of the best wireless is the rat. I feed rats to my snake. I don't want to use a rat as my mouse. There's a little bit of irony in that. I use the G502 most of the time. Yeah? Back, I need a coffee. I can't stream. How do you make coffee? I have an iPad. Question mark. Message retracted. Message retracted. I sound like a bot. Phil, do you have a PS4? No, I got a PS5. Oh. I use a single cup, pour over, and then just heat the water, set aside when I want some Raj. Oh, when you want some coffee. Okay. Space is limited. Hello. So's my time. I have to go for an ultrasound today of my shoulders. Like the streamer, I'll delete your shins. See? Now we're talking. Okay. So does that all make kind of sense, or did I lose people? So to recap my rant of 5 minutes and 5 seconds, I've got new stuff to play with. New mice, new keyboards, new settings. The biggest change, to recap very quickly, I won't recap the 5 minutes, don't worry, is I am now moving forward. I will be playing the PlayStation 4/Xbox One. I still call that bitch last gen, okay? Because it's so fucking 2013. I'm going to be playing the old version of the game on the PS5, on the SSD external. It's not the shiny PS5 version of the game, and that might sound taboo again. But I'm looking at my screen right now. With the graphics and everything, this is full 60 FPS. There is 0 dips in frames, 0 compromises. Anti-aliasing, everything's got to be at least on high. Reflections, water, ambient occlusions. On the PC version, I had all that shit off. Now, for a while, I had it all on and high. But again, something happened about a week ago, and I can no longer play Call of Duty whatsoever on my computer. It is literally borderline unplayable. It's almost as if the update to Call of Duty has made my game more hardware demanding. That's what I wanted to say. So that's very frustrating. But it is what it is. Again, I've just unlocked this. I might do a little bit of WoW for a couple of minutes. You're out. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Bellatorm King. I got a new mouse that I'm gonna try in WoW in a couple of minutes. I've changed everything. Mouse, keyboard. I was just letting people know that I'm now going to be playing the PS4 version of Call of Duty on my PS5. Full 60 FPS. It's going to be a smoother experience. It's going to lay off the, the stress off my computer. There's going to be very few games from now on that I'm going to be streaming. No, there's nothing new. I'm just changing. I'm no longer going to be playing the computer version of Call of Duty. Now I'm going to go to the store. This is one of my favorite weapons, and I'm going to show you a weapon that I'm striving to get. Yeah, my computer just can't handle it. There was a new update. Something happened. I can't play Call of Duty anymore on my computer. I can't even play it when I'm not streaming. It keeps stuttering too much. I got to keep turning graphics down. So this is the loud pipe. This is the gun that I was just using at the beginning of the stream when I started off, actually playing instead of just rambling on. But the title says it all. Mainly chatting and some fucking around. That's why I love titling my streams as that, so that I don't have people coming in going, bro, why are you talking so much? Why don't you just fucking play a game? Shut the fuck up. Right? Because then I'll stick that barrel up where the sun don't fucking shine sideways and there won't be any lube. That's why. So this is the gun that I shall be working on getting. It's what I was just using, but you know me, I'm gaudy, I'm flashy, I like the bling bling. And this tickles my fancy 6 ways from Sunday, 1 way from Monday. I mean, the goddamn optics, for crying out loud, is animated. The iron sight moves. Like, oh my god! This thing was like created for me. This was meant for me. They were thinking of me when they made this weapon. It's just absolutely insane. So that's what I'm going to be working on. Not quite right this moment. Yeah, I got a Logitech wireless mouse, and I like it, but I don't like it. But I've already rambled about that a lot. Again, PS4 version of the game on the PS5. You probably can't even fucking tell the difference. Actually, let's do it right now. When you guys have watched me play Call of Duty on the computer, and now you saw me at the beginning of my stream when I was playing this, could you tell the difference? Oh my god, what is this? The console version? The fuck is this? The PS4 2013 hardware version of the game? Could you tell? Gaming chairs are shit. Yeah, some people like listening to me talk. I like listening to me talk. Okay. So, I started off with some gameplay, which to me was important. See, now I've got all these mice. I got the one for my MacBook for YouTube, so I could talk to you guys and girls. I've got my PS4 mouse. Holy cow, now I got my computer mouse. Thank God this one's wireless. Let me just shut this off, because I don't need to have it on. So again, you could see it right there. I'm on my PS5, but again, using the PS4 version of the game, because the PS5 version is a lot bigger. It introduces capability of running 120 frames, which I don't give a fuck about. I'm trying to get a stable 60. I don't need 120. I don't care for ray tracing. I mean, yes, it looks nice, but I don't want to have to delete. I would have to... This is what I would have to do. I would have to go into my storage. Let's talk about this. Why is he so picky with the storage content on his PlayStation? You want to see why? I'll show you why. So these are the games that are on my internal SSD. And I only have 88 gigs left. So I've got football. Don't mind, those are 10 megabyte files. Those are just like cache files. Never mind that shit. I've got Madden, 50 gigs. I've got the NBA version, or the PS5 version of all these games. So Madden, NBA, 118 gigs. It's bigger than Call of Duty Cold War with everything installed. Last gen version of the game, though, but still, that game is bigger by 10. A fucking basketball game with one court and a little ball and some dudes running around. That takes up more gigabytes than an entire Call of Duty franchise. That's crazy shit. I do have the PS5 version of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Hitman 3, and then, of course, my sports games again, FIFA. I've got Marvel Avengers, 8 gigs for the Resident Evil demo, and then the new MLB The Show. That's all the games I have. So I have the sports games, then I've got NHL on the PS4 version of the game, because they never made a PS5 version of the game. So apart from the sports games, which I'm huge into, I only have Valhalla, Hitman, and Marvel Avengers. I've got 3 non-sports games, that's it, on there. So... where's the 140 gigs for the PS5 version? Then where am I going to put Resident Evil 8 when the full game comes out? So this is why I've been freaking out, right? But when I go to the USB extended, you could see I have a 2 terabyte. a Samsung Supersonic Ultra, whatever you want to call it. It's just as fast as my internal SSD, by the way, which is why I bought it, which is why it cost almost the same price as the fucking PS5 to begin with. And so here, you can see, where the hell is it? See, it's nice when you got a 2 terabyte. You could really pack in some. Oh my god! 40 gigs! No, 30. I can't count. Who cares? Call of Duty is 30 gigs smaller than NBA 2K. But again, in closing, the sports games next gen are the ones that really took it to the next level, in my opinion. When it comes to like Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, all that shit, there's some leaps and bounds. But the sports games, there's even different modes. The AI of the basketball players in NBA 2K are actually more realistic on the PS5 version of the game. There's physics. There's certain things that I can't even find words to explain that are better in the PS5 version of the game that I could never go back to the PS4 version of the game. So again, the PS5 version of some games is not always just a fresh coat of paint with 60 FPS and 4K. Sometimes it goes far beyond that, but that's few and far in between. It's rare that you're going to get that, which is why my conclusion is if you don't have a PS5, if you don't have a Series X, honest to God, and I'm not just saying this, you're not missing out on much. On much. Unless you're a hardcore sports fan, then I would argue that there's some really nifty shit in the next gen version of the sports games. But apart from that, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's just the whole 60 FPS bullshit and like, sometimes ray tracing. And even at that, the PS5 for Resident Evil has to do ray tracing and all that shit, 1080p ultra settings on the PS5 at 45 frames a second. It can't even do it at 60. If you want to play Resident Evil Village coming out on PS5 at full 60 FPS, 1080p, you're going to have to turn off the ray tracing. So, and the ray tracing's nice, but it's not like, you're going to start drooling and your chin's going to drop. It's not that big of a deal. So, even Hitman 3, I was almost kind of tempted to go back to the PS4 version. But like even this, the PS5 version of Marvel Avengers, the physics, the collision detection, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that some people may not understand, even though this game wasn't well received for a semi-open world, hub world, kind of like action third-person RPG. Marvel's Avengers is one of the games that I feel has done the most to widen the gap between current gen, next gen of the same game, which is why I can't justify ever going back to the PS4 version of Marvel Avengers. But for some other games, I almost could. Almost could. Take it easy, Space. Yeah, but what version of the game, Night Ripper? What Call of Duty? Like PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, the PC? Did you download the ultra high definition textures on the PC? Yeah, so anyways, that's enough rambling about that. I got so many mice on my computer, I don't even know. There we go. There we go. All right. Let me separate this for a moment. I don't care about its multiplayer. Yeah, but have to play the Avengers campaign. Yeah, Cold War PS5. That's what I mean. So I have a PS5 as you saw, but I can't even justify having it take 1/3 of my hard drive. I just showcased I got sports games and then 3 non-sports games. That's it. Because again, 667 gigabytes is all we have. But then you saw how many games I had on my external. And that's only a 2 terabyte, but you saw that's almost like triple the amount of space, hence triple the amount of games. If I would have just had that full 1 terabyte PS5 and the system software and all that didn't take up the other bullshit, oh man, it would have been amazing. It would have been amazing. But it is what it is. They're going to unlock it, in the coming months. I know that they're going to do that. So, whatever. Again, Call of Duty on PC. I'm not trying to be emo or anything, but I am probably going to be uninstalling it from my PC. Speaking of which, PC. So we saw my game on PS4, on the PS5, the PS4 version of the game. It took 88 gigs for the full game. 88 gigs. And that's with the campaign. That's like with everything. Why? Because the last gen, or whatever, the current gen, because it's still currently supported, the PS4 version of the game, you can't separate what you want to install and uninstall. That's a next gen feature, which you also have on Cold War. Cold War, I have nothing installed but multiplayer. So it's only half the game, but look at how big it is. Oh. Really? It's only 67 gigs? Oh, okay, that's not too bad then. Okay. Fuck, World of Warcraft takes 80. Anyhow. I am probably going to uninstall it though. Like, for real, I'm not kidding. I just need to get away from Call of Duty on the PC. It's too much stress on my computer, and even when I'm not streaming, like I said before, I can't even maintain medium-low graphics at 60 FPS. That's why this whole next-gen thing is great, and don't get me wrong, I am so thankful. I'm very happy that I got a PS5. I'm very happy I got one. But in the early beginnings of next-gen, I'm gonna say it, it's really not all that's cracked up to be. I've compared PS4, PS5 games on the PS5, and a lot of times it's negligible. I chose the PS4 version of the game over the PC and the PS5, and I can't even really tell the difference. Actually, the PS4 version looks better than my computer, but that's also because I had to turn everything down to medium. But when I used to have everything on high settings, it looked about the same. So the PS4 version of COD, Cold War, looks about on par to the high settings of PC. It was just very nice. Maybe I should just get the PS4 version on the store. Yeah, for sure. Well, I stream, I YouTube full-time, and I just play a lot of games in general. So now, we're on to a game that Bellatorm King and I like. It's very dear to our hearts. We've been a part of this journey for over a decade and a half. You know, pushing on 20 years. It's a big deal. And just like the title says, testing shit out. So I've ranted on about the PS4 version on, the PS5 console. I've talked about the differences between it and the PC, which is like the same thing. Unless you get the ultra high definition PC textures, which, oh my god, you would need a badass computer for that. Trust me. Because I have a $1,000 graphics card that's barely a year old, and I can't push that bitch at 60. Even when I'm not streaming anymore. Again, a week ago, I was able to. And that's one of the other things that I don't like about computers. And yes, I'm going to shit on the PC gaming thing. In my personal experience, and that's all it can be, is my own personal experience, which spans nearly 4 decades. Computers have always been, for me, maybe not you, have always been more unpredictable, more unreliable, have been more of a wild card But however, when the shit works as intended, oof, that's why they call it the master race. When the shit is working. Again, what do we have that's not working again that I got to keep doing every day because the software is inconsistent since the latest update? I have to reload the GeForce Experience every fucking time because there's a glitch. It's enabled. I got to go to settings. I got to keep going back to my HUD layout, go back to performance. You can see that it's on, but the green thingy's not in the corner. I got to click away from it, then click it back, and now it brings it back. Things like that you don't get on console. Now, you might laugh and say, well, that's because there's no FPS counter on a console. But my point is for whatever feature are on a console, I've never had so many mishaps is what I'm getting at. Things like, look at my mouse right now. See the speed in which I'm moving my mouse at? Like that? If I go AFK from my mouse for about a minute or two, and I come back to my computer, do you know what happens to my mouse instead of it moving like that with the new one that I bought? It'll do this. The sensitivity shoots back up to the out-of-the-box 3600 DPI. I have to then move my mouse around for about 5 seconds before it tames back down and goes, oh yeah, that's right. If I recall correctly, just but a moment ago, he had it on 1500. Okay, let's go back to that. Again, another piece of software inconsistency. So every time I rant, bitch, moan, and complain about shit, I have things to back it up with. Okay? I'm actually going to show you something funny right now. You see my mouse moving around? See? I have it set to 1500. Software looks fairly straightforward, looks pretty smooth. Oh, I want to use the onboard memory. Slot 1, default. Watch my mouse now. I'm not doing anything fancy. Now I'm going to turn it on. Look at my mouse cursor, and I'm moving it the same amount. It completely went fucking hog wild. It just completely went off the frick, but it's still on the same default profile. It's the same profile. It's just now I'm using the onboard memory so I could maybe close the software, but I can't do that. Now it wants me to force to enable the software to take over. Because if I close this here and I click on my mouse, you can see it's on onboard profile mode where it stores all your information on the actual mouse itself. But it just brings me back here. I can't actually change any of the settings. It says the device is on board mode. Enable the software control to configure it and access all features. So then I'm forced to re-enable it, which now disables it. And now look, now my mouse is back to its normal setting. And now I'm able to go into the commands, the keys. I could program my mouse, no problem. Change the sensitivity DPI. Who's the fucking retard that created this software? Why can't I just go from software? Like, what's the point in having the fucking online or the onboard profile if it's just going to take over and have a mind of its own? So everything that I ever bitch, moan, and complain and whine about, they're legitimate things. This isn't like a $20 entry-level Walmart mouse. It's a medium to upper end gaming Logitech mouse. My fucking $30 keyboard that I'm playing on right now that's wireless is more reliable. And I paid $29.99 for this. And it's the same company. But at the same time, it also doesn't have a fucking profile that it's stuck to. When you hit the letter A, you tend to want the letter A to be pressed. So there's really not much going on there. So these are some of the things, again, that I don't like about this mouse. So now I'm forced to have this fucking software open. It's just fucking stupid. And I don't think there's anybody out there that could argue with me that it isn't and come up with a valid reason as to why it's not. Yeah. Let me go back up because I'm one of those weird people, even though I probably lost everybody in here. Exactly. I do have a PC too, but there are lots of unpredictable stuff that happens. That's why I got a PS5 for simple plug and play. I personally keep the GeForce overlay off. Yeah. I would have loved to as well, but I really like that FPS counter at the bottom left. And because this is not a Steam game and I don't want to have to run Steam and attach it to my Blizzard account, I want to be able to see what my frames per seconds are at. And again, PC is much more than just gaming. Yeah, I work with it, YouTube, yeah. It's, But it is, you know, when it's all said and done, and that's what I kind of wanted to do in here, even though my gameplay's been incredibly slow. I started off with a bit of a bang, and then it just kind of nosedive. But I also appropriately spoke about that in my video. Or in my title. I mean, my title says mainly chatting and testing out my new gear, which is on point with what I've been talking about the whole time. I went from playing Call of Duty on the PC. I have decided to revert to laying off the extra stress that for some reason my PC now needs all of a sudden. That didn't need it before. I've been playing the game for I've been playing the game for like 7 or 8 months. Now all of a sudden I can't play it. That's inconsistent. I've never played a console game that one day just magically started stuttering out of nowhere. Like, what? Again, am I saying that never happens? No, that's not what I'm saying. Again, it's just my personal journey. So no more PC version of Call of Duty. I will be, from the foreseeable future, moving on to the PS4 version of the game, but on the PS5. All that's going to do is it's going to load quicker, and it's going to ensure a silky smooth 60 FPS experience. I don't need the PS5 version of the game. I don't. I don't need 4K and fucking ray tracing. Not if it's going to take up 150 gigs of my hard drive space and I got to delete half my games. It's not worth it. I'm just glad that I've got a solid 60 FPS experience. That to me is what's important. Now again, I'm just playing, leveling up. Not too exciting for most people. But I'm using my new mouse again, which again, in terms of performance, is great. But I'm probably going to take it back and buy the other Razer mouse that I want. It's double the price, but it just does everything that I want. So again, the look and feel compared to my old Razer mouse, it's pretty damn good. So again, I'm using this mouse right now. Look and feel is just as good as my wired Razer that I've been using for about 6 or 7 years. Again, this is now for my PS5 because I don't want cables anymore. My biggest disappointment with the mouse is the battery life again. When it's in Wi-Fi mode, it only lasts 240 hours. I'll plow through that again in about 3 weeks. Maybe a month. When it's in Bluetooth mode, it would have lasted me half a year again. The battery, the single AA battery in the Logitech. But it stutters my game. Like, it makes it like, oh my god, it's just terrible. So again, it's not consistent. And it's frustrating when this mouse retails for nearly $150 with taxes, Canadian. Like, what the fuck? It's very frustrating. I've thought of MSI Afterburner. I think I might actually have an MSI graphics card. No, I don't. What do I have? I don't even remember what I have. I have a gigabit this time. My last one was an MSI, I think. I'm sorry. I have to moan about something else, about computers that I don't like. So I bought this was a year ago. I bought this for about $1,000 Canadian because it wasn't on sale. It's an RTX 2070 Super. Whatever, I get it. It's not the best card now. Wasn't planning on getting the best card. And for the first couple of months that I had it, when I bought it back in March of last year. So I've had this card now for about 13 months, about a year and a month. About 5 months into it, so last summer sometime, there was an update that came out. You'll notice that I have the active fan on. If I click that, it'll be on semi-passive or active. Semi-passive or active. So semi-passive is just that, semi-passive. The fans will only come on when I'm playing a game, something that needs the fans to cool down the graphics card, right? And that was by default. It was on semi-passive. Then out of nowhere, vroom, 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 vroom. Yeah, exactly. It's driving you crazy, right? And that's what my graphics card started doing within just a couple of months after me dropping $1,000 on a card. And I'm thinking, oh, for the love of God and all that is holy, what is going on? So I look it up, variable fan space. I said, I don't need that fucking shit. Do you know how efficient cards are now with their parts and the bearings and all that? So I had to go again, download this piece of software. Didn't want to have this piece of software, just something extra running in the taskbar manager now. Now I have to put it on active fan. I had to physically change a setting and download a piece of software that I didn't originally need. Otherwise, my like the fan just keeps speeding up, back down, turning up. It's almost like someone's turning on and off your fan constantly. And it'll do that if I don't leave it on, but it didn't do that before. So what the fuck happened? From one day to the next, it just decided to do that on its own. Now to finish my rambling about this, see how I have it on active fan? Leave it there in the background? Or did I accidentally exit out of it? Ah, for fuck's sake. Anyways, whatever. Sometimes it'll automatically change on its own. It's like it's got a poltergeist inside my computer. And it'll go back to semi-passive. So once in a while, if I don't have my earbuds in, and I'm just playing on my own, not talking, I'm just going around doing my thing, sometimes I'll hear, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. I gotta go in the software, load it up, and I gotta re-click on that button because somehow it unswitched itself and reverted back to the default.
Speak for the Horde.
You starting to see why I'm not always the biggest fan of PC games?
For the Horde.
Or PC in general? Oh, and my steering wheel was the same thing with American Truck Simulator. I spent $350 on a Logitech G29 steering wheel. And there was a G-Hub, Logitech G-Hub, that software I was just showing you a moment ago. Well, there was a recent update a couple of weeks ago. You won't believe me if I told you. You can look it up if you don't believe me online. It renders your computer useless. It crashed my computer, and it disconnected my steering wheel and my mouse. I couldn't use my mouse or my steering wheel. It wouldn't even detect it. Meanwhile, in a quarter of a century of playing with PlayStation consoles, I've had one PS4 Pro die due to a power surge failure. And I've been through maybe 2 controllers in 25 years that were faulty, that were a piece of shit, where the batteries were shit or the buttons started getting all weird and clicking and sticking. So like 2 controllers and 1 console in 25 years. I think that's pretty good. I've had more problems in the past month with my computer than I have with PlayStation consoles in a quarter of a century. That's essentially what I'm getting at. But when the shit works well, man, it's awesome. You're not going to get a game like World of Warcraft on a console. That's not going to happen. So Night Ripper, because I'm not an expert, So MSI, I know is the brand, obviously, because I had an MSI graphics card for my GTX 970, my old one. But if you don't have an MSI graphics card, you're saying that the company can still test out your non-MSI hardware? If that makes any sense? Sorry, I'm doing an escort quest here. Yeah, the battery, by the way, there's a new Logitech mouse that has a capacitor built in. It's wireless and simply charges via the surface of a mouse pad. Oh, nice. Hello, Optic Gamer. Hello, Charlie. How's it going? Oops. Don't mind me. 9:24. Streaming for about an hour. Oh, I'm about to die. That's nice. Can't even look at the time. Welcome to World of Warcraft Classic. If this was retail, they'd all be dead by now. Nice. Barbecues are nice. Yeah, I'll have to go soon because there are some things I want to do on my own. Like, I still want to go back into Call of Duty after. I want to tinker around with some stuff. Because I do have to head out for x-rays and ultrasounds of both my shoulders. Like, within the next hour. And obviously, I don't want to be late for that. Or get sidetracked. So that's done. So again, I got to rant about my streaming deck, which was a piece of shit that I'm going to be bringing back, but because my province in Canada is on major lockdown, I can't return items until mid-June. I could buy shit, curbside pickup, but I can't curbside return. Just fucking dumb. But whatever, because you have to bring the package back, and if you meet the dude in the parking lot because you can't physically enter a Best Buy, how are they going to scan it? They can't just bring the wireless thing all the way out to your car. Right? Like for your debit machine or to like refund you, because they don't have those wireless ones. Like, you know, those wireless debit machines, they don't have those. But, you know, the pandemic's been going on for how long? The least they could have fucking done with a mega corporation like Best Buy and Walmart. Well, actually, Walmart, you're allowed to go into the store because they're considered essential. Buying electronics isn't essential. You can't buy food and shit like that at Best Buy, at least not in Canada. So I'm stuck with my Elgato streaming deck. But at least I get my money back, right? It's not like I can't get my money back. It's just I can't get it back right this minute. But I'll be able to get it back soon enough. That'll be a spare $225 back in my bank. And I'll just keep paying $5 a month to the subscription of the Elgato streaming software, but on my phone, that I showed earlier. There's a software version of the phone. On the phone, rather. But you are forced to pay a monthly subscription fee. It's fucking stupid. Because I don't do dual monitors anymore. My second screen, like I said, is my MacBook, which is what I use to monitor the chat on YouTube. It's less room, it's less intense on my computer. And thankfully, from what you can see, World of Warcraft remains one of the very few games that I can consistently keep at 60 FPS. So that's nice. Because between this and American Truck Simulator and Skater XL, there's really nothing else I want to play on a computer, to be honest. Anyway, gotta go, Phil. We're eating now. Oh, take it easy. He's probably already gone, but whatever. Yeah, so I'll just go over here. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here. But again, overall, the mouse is working well in Wi-Fi mode. But for 240 hours per AA, I'd rather a 150-hour battery that doesn't last as long, but that it's built-in rechargeable in the form of the Razer Naga Pro. But I love my Razer mouse that I have now, but again, it's wired. I have so many wires. I feel like I have a full studio here with all the lights and computers, different consoles. You know, all my monitor speakers that are like individual with their own cord. Yeah, I still play Monster Hunter Rise. Yeah. I predominantly play that in bed. My channel, which, you know what I'm saying? It does shit for just regular gameplay. So, what ends up happening is I play a game, I talk about it, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. Once I run out of useful information to show about a game, I just never got lucky to be one of those YouTubers that can get a lot of views just rambling on about nothing. And just go, hey guys, so we're playing a game here today. We're going to roam around and we're going to kick some ass and kill these baddies right here. And we're just going to go ahead and do absolutely nothing else for the next 45 minutes. But if I can get 100,000 likes on the video, that would be greatly appreciated. And there's people that can do that. I, after 2.5 years on YouTube, can barely get 25 views on a casual gameplay video. So I still play a lot of these games, but once I cover them, once I talk about any tips I may have found, you'll probably never see me play the game again, unless I'm streaming it. Because streaming, brings in a couple people. I get a little bit more views on it. But I'm predominantly now a channel that I don't mind being, but that I don't like as much. I'm a talker, can you tell? I love talking. It's what I do. I would rather have like a podcast-like show, like become a full-time streamer, like I'm doing, but performing better. But I don't mind talking about gaming news. But gaming news videos can get me hundreds or thousands of views. Playing a video game gets me 20 views. So I could play the game and get 20 views, or I can tell you about the game and not even play it, and manage to score 1,000, 2,000 views. Call me a sellout, but I'm going where the money is. When it's all said and done, I'm trying to get my ass off disability. I don't want to be on that shit for the rest of my life. That's why I'm working my ass off at this game. I want to, make something of myself on here. And I've already done quite a fantastic job. It's been rough lately. And no offense, but the live streams do definitely slow me down when I could be focusing that time on doing other stuff. But I also really enjoy it too. It can't always just be about the money. 100%, right? Like, it can't just be about that. So WoW's working fine. The mouse is working fine. I just got my last piece of gear for my bow bill. Nice. So, again, Logitech G. I mean, I could just pick up the mouse and show it to you. But I want to recap before I end up going. So this is the mouse that I have now. Okay. Again, in Wi-Fi mode, it's awesome. Like, it actually works. It works in Wi-Fi mode. See? There we go. Nice picture right there. It only takes a single AA battery. It's got the 6 buttons on the side, the 2 over here, which is reminiscent and somewhat similar to my Razer mouse, with the nice 7 buttons and a nice radial. Because I don't need 20,000 buttons on the side. And I use this again for World of Warcraft, those extra macros on the side. Just an extra couple of buttons, right? Just a few extra. So now that mouse I just showed you, the Razer, is now my Call of Duty PlayStation 5 mouse. Because the wire I can just disconnect after. It's whatever, I could hide it. So this kind of replaces, this mouse right here kind of replaces that for my PC. Again, 1 battery on Bluetooth mode. It's non-existent. It does not work. Okay? It just doesn't work. It lags. It's terrible. Maybe it's because my computer's 7 years old. I don't know. It runs like a pile of shit. Never mind the 6-month battery life. It's only 240 hours. Okay. So I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to keep that. The mouse that I'm thinking of getting, Razer Naga Pro. And the reason I'm tempted to get this mouse is actually relatively quite simple to explain. It's not because, ooh, it's the Pro and all that shit. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Can I get a zoom in here? Anyhow, what will you notice? It's got fucking swappable plates. Are you kidding me right now? It's got a built-in rechargeable battery. Okay? It lasts 150 hours, so 100 hours less than my Logitech. But the battery's built in. Oh, but what if someday the battery dies? Well, that's probably going to be in a half a decade. I'll get a new mouse. Plus, it works wired as well if I had to. What do you notice on the side? That's the true MMO one. Don't need that. That's when you're doing first-person shit. Don't need that. But it's the fact that it's there. Look at that inner plate right there. Okay? It's a wireless slash Bluetooth slash wired version of this mouse. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what their software is like. I like it. But it's $200. That might sound crazy, and it is, and I'm not saying it's not crazy. But the mouse that I just bought retails for $130. I got it on sale, $30 off, fine. So for double the price, for an extra $100, what I would be getting is the exact layout of the mouse. Because you saw how like nice and round it is, like how all the buttons are nice and round, very clearly laid out, like each button is far away from the other. It's all about the look and feel. Whereas this one, look at how the buttons are all cluttered together. They're very, and the way they're angled. Like they're just kind of, you know? I'm just saying. So for an extra $100 for the long run, for like the next half decade, is the extra $100 worth never having to change out the battery? Being able to go from Bluetooth to Wi-Fi. Maybe the Bluetooth won't work on this one either, but at least the Wi-Fi will. And when the battery dies, I can plug it in and still use the mouse while it's charging the battery at the same time. And I could swap out the plates, but I don't care about the plates. But that's everything that you're getting for that extra $100. I think in the long run, it might be worth doing that. It might be worth it. Check out the Rat 2 mouse. Oh, what the fuck is that? The Rat 2 Plus, the Rat Plus 2. The fuck is this thing? Now, don't forget, when it comes to mice, there is one thing that is a absolute must-have. I must have at least 6 buttons on the side. I can't have a mouse with only, like, 2 buttons on the side. Right, mouse. Somehow this mouse comes up. Rat Air. I can't find 2 mice that look the same. Well, this looks like a Rat 2. Where the fuck are the buttons on the side? It hurts my eyes just looking at it. Okay, left mouse button, right mouse button. Little thing there. Yeah, see, I need, like, I must have buttons on the side like that. Like, that's an absolute no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Otherwise, I could buy a wireless version of a mouse with 2 buttons on the side from Razer for $25 Canadian. Not even on sale. So I don't know if I'm looking at the wrong mouse or... Because I don't need just a first-person shooter mouse. Do they not have one with more buttons on the side? I mean, I know for most games you don't need it, but unfortunately, World of Warcraft ruins that for me. So even like something psycho looking like that, I'm having a hard time looking at it. Where are all the buttons on the side? I think there's... So you see, at first glance, for me, this wouldn't be the mouse for me. The only reason I want to go with Razer isn't because it's Razer. I honestly could give a shit about the name brand within reason. It just has the features that I'm looking for. I went with this Logitech because it had the features I wanted. It was the only $100 mouse with 6 programmable buttons on the side. That was Wi-Fi. That was Bluetooth. That had a single AA battery. Like, to me, that's pretty wild. But yeah, I think Mad Catz can make some pretty decent stuff from what I remember. But it does not appear they have any that's suited for the features that I need. Like I said, with all those buttons on the side. I mean, they look cool. But it's gotta do more than just look cool. I mean, shit, this fucking mouse has more buttons on the side. I essentially need a MOBA mouse, which is what my Razer mouse is. It's technically considered a MOBA mouse. Yeah. Oh, and then the streaming deck that I got was absolute shit. That was a real underwhelming experience. I have this one right now. This Elgato Stream Deck. And unfortunately, it's very underwhelming. The keys are pretty small compared to my phone version. And everything's just off-centered really bad. Every single icon, when you look at it, is just way off. I wonder if the 6, even though it's got a lot less, I wonder if the actual physical keys are bigger, if you know what I mean by that, than the 15. Like if I had them side by side, I wonder if the one that only has 6 is bigger in terms of the buttons, because I don't really need that many buttons. I would have gotten the 6, they didn't have it in stock. 15 was the one they had, plus this one's only $100, whereas this one is $200, the one that I got with the 15 buttons. So I might be able to more get away with this. But yeah. Anyhow, I gotta head out. I've got to be at my clinic for my ultrasound and x-rays in like 45 minutes. And I don't want to be late. So now what I got to do is call Best Buy, find out if somehow, some way, somewhere, I can do a curbside return. Like, does that even exist whatsoever? I'll have to look into that. If not, I got to hold on to it until the first couple of weeks of June. Until the whole thing gets lifted for COVID. So I can actually return my shit. And then the mouse, like I said, I'm still indifferent to it. I just, I don't know. Haven't decided what to do. But yeah. But like I said, the 6, if they ever come back in stock, that one I might be more prone to wanting to get. That might be something that I prefer more. At least it I mean, I know the picture's bigger, but it looks like maybe the keys... I'd have to see it side by side, honestly. And that's the thing, right? Without it in stock, without being able to go into the store, I can't just go in and look at it side by side to see what it looks like. Because that would have been cool to do. Because I could probably get away with just 6. I just need to make sure that my stream is still on, like when I'm on my PS5. see that the button is still there, that my microphone is there, and that's pretty much it. But yeah. Anyhow, what do you mean? You didn't answer my question. Blues, the rat mouse, the buttons on the side. Is there no rat mouse with multiple buttons on the side? Hey, Nathan. I have to get going, though. I'll probably be back a bit later. I just want to chill. I had a terrible day yesterday. I just did not have a good day whatsoever. Spent a lot of money, nearly $350, and I don't really like anything I bought. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so I'll be gone. My point then 45. And 45. Let's say I'm out of there by 11. I should be back within just a little under 2 hours. Maybe. I mean, I'll want to eat at some point, obviously. But yeah, I think maybe for the most part today, maybe I'm just gonna stick to playing some console games, including Call of Duty again, because I've already ranted about that. Nobody needs to hear me go on about that. I'm probably not gonna uninstall the game. I'll probably periodically go back to it and see if I can get a way to run it well, because it used to up until a week ago. But we won't get into that. So November, December, January, February, March, April. I said 8 months. I was exaggerating. I'm sorry. The game's been out for about 5.5 months. So for almost half a year, I've been playing this game flawlessly. 100% flawless, even while streaming. On high settings to ultra settings. I can't even run the game now on medium and low when I'm not streaming. That's a huge difference. Again, that is why I am going to the PS4 version of my PS5. On my PS5 of the game. I wish I could do the PS5 version of the game, I'm not going to lie. I really wish I could, but I can't see myself deleting Marvel's Avengers. I can't see it. And Hitman. Valhalla, almost. I love the game, don't get me wrong. It's not like I can't download it again or move it back to my hard drive within 10 minutes. But then I have no room for Resident Evil. That's coming out in just a few weeks. And then I'm fucked. Any next-gen game that comes out, I might be stuck playing Resident Evil Village on the PS5 with the PS4 version of it. I can't keep deleting all these games. I can't do it. It's too wild. I have the room for it, but I don't know. Yeah, I hope so too. How are you doing, Nathan? I mean, let me just look at something really quick before I go, because these are all things I'd be doing on my own anyways. I'm just glad I appropriately titled my stream, mainly chatting and talking about nothing, essentially. RE Village, PS4 versus PS5. Again, to kind of recap with what I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about the backwards compatibility thing here. Yeah. See, a lot of times when you do this, don't forget, this isn't always accurate, because when you do PS4 versus PS5 version of a game, I'm talking about on the PS. See, loading times are seriously quick on the PS5. Well, no shit. But I'm talking about playing the backwards. There needs to be that additional. Are you guys with me on this? What I'm about to say right now? You guys agree with me? This goes for Xbox, of course. They need to start comparing more than just PS4 versus PS5 of any game. They need to also incorporate how much better the PS4 version of the game is on the PS5, on the Xbox Series X. Oh my God, it loads so much quicker. Okay, but some PS4 games load just as fast as the PS5 version of the game on the PS5, on an external SSD. Nobody's talking about that. So that's why I make videos like that. Like, why did I choose MLB The Show 21 PS5 to go on my PS5 and not the PS4 version of the game, even though graphically it looks fucking identical? The physics, the AI, the game modes, everything's identical except for Create a Stadium. Because you can boot MLB The Show 21 on the PS5 on the SSD in 7 seconds. It takes 36 seconds to load the PS4 version of the game on the PS5 SSD. Do you want to wait 7 seconds or do you want to wait 36? That's half a minute. That's something that needs to be talked about, right? I'm saying that there are times where you don't need the PS5 version of the game on your PS5, especially in an era where you only have barely over half a gig or half a terabyte of space on your PS5. You got to be very selective with the games that go on there, right? So again, Call of Duty, what's the big deal with the PS5 version? It could do 4K. It could do 120 frames. It's got ray tracing, although ray tracing will be locked at 60 FPS. But if you don't care about ray tracing and 120 frames and 4K, there is literally no difference in the game. I've done it, but nobody talks about that. My PlayStation 5 with the PS4 version of Call of Duty on an external SSD boots the game 2.5 times faster than the PC version of Call of Duty on an SSD. How do you like them fucking eggs? It's usually apples, but I like eggs. You see what I'm saying? But who makes videos on that? Who talks about that shit? There's a lot of people that want to know about that shit because those are the only kinds of videos that do really well on my YouTube channel. Like I said, people don't want to watch me play Call of Duty. They want to see and hear me talk about all this rambling bullshit because nobody else seems to want to take the time to talk about it. Right? Anyways. So, like, for example, I may end up, you know, not playing the PS5 version of the game, believe it or not. Like, I mean, I'll own it. It's not like I won't have it. So the PS5 manages a smooth 4K 60 FPS or 4K 45 FPS with ray tracing. Great. I don't care about 4K. I don't have a 4K TV. I don't want one. I just want smooth 60 FPS. I'm not saying 4K is a gimmick. I'm more of an HDR ray tracing kind of guy, I'll admit, over the 4K part. The difference with ray tracing is super noticeable. Yeah, I'm sure it's noticeable. We also look at the 4K and 1080p modes of the PS4 Pro as well as the base PS4 running at 900p. But they run at 60 FPS. So if I don't care about ray tracing again and 4K, which I want 60 FPS anyway, so I don't want 45 frames 4K. I want 1080p 60 FPS. So right there, from what I just saw, I'm probably going to end up playing the PS4 version of Resident Evil Village on my PS5. Again, on paper, that might sound like a taboo thing to do, but I also need to save up on space. I'm going to have to mute this because my shit will get... I don't have a 4K TV, but I just want to see something really quick before I go. So this is the PS4. That's, yeah, PS4 Pro, which is what I'd be having on my PS5. PS4 4K. Okay. Yeah, I mean... Ray tracing on. Ray tracing off. Oh my god, seriously? Wait. Let's do that again. Okay, so this is ray tracing mode on. Whoops, I fucked up something. So I'm trying to... So with the ray tracing on, the snow, the path looks pretty bright with a little bit of... Ah, okay. That is pretty interesting. Ray tracing on. You could see the brick, all the lines in the brick. You could still, just the snow a little bit. Yeah, see, to me, well, yeah, 900p, obviously, but I would be on this version, PS4 Pro version. Oh, okay, that's a better way of doing it, the split. Piss off. Ray tracing off on the PS5, ray tracing on the PS5. Where I notice it is being able to see that little puddle a little bit more predominantly. Right where my mouse is. How it looks like a yeah, but I mean graphically, I mean even the lighting in here. I mean it's not night and day. This again, that reflection in the lighter part of the mud, and that line is more pronounced, it's brighter, but you could still see it here. So it's like it's there, but at the cost of 15 frames per second to have that? You see what I'm saying? Sorry, I don't think so. Oh, ray tracing on it. Oh, see how it. Oh, okay. Wow, this is a really good video, actually. I got a question for you guys. I know there's only a few people in here. What's your view on a YouTuber that, like, this guy did a phenomenal job, like, highlighting everything? What's the etiquette, would you say? Like, what would happen if I wanted to use this footage but not claim it as my own? Literally the first thing out of my mouth, never mind welcome to the channel and all that bullshit. Not my footage, the original uploader's link is down below in the description box. I'm going to have it muted because I want to narrate it in my own words, but this guy did such a phenomenal job on the video. I wanted to use his footage because I don't have the brain capacity to be able to do the fucking editing that he did. Is that frowned down upon to do that? To take other people's footage, even if you're being honest and telling people that it's somebody else's, and you have the link in the description to where people can view the original footage. I don't know if that's considered a taboo move, because I would really love to talk about this in a video, but I don't have the means to be able to make my own video. It's not that I'm lazy. It's literally impossible for me to do this and maybe skip over certain parts of it and kind of like compress it down from a 15-minute video and do like a summary of it in 5 minutes, maybe edit out certain parts. But again, being very adamantly clear from the first words I utter from my mouth is that the original footage is not my own, although I have condensed the video to summarize it. You know, like, I don't know if people, oh, did he just do that? I don't know if that's considered taboo. People use others' content all the time. Yeah, but I find a lot of time people use other people's content. They claim it as their own, or they don't say it's theirs, but they definitely don't go out of their way to say it's somebody else's footage. You know what I mean? But yeah, I could see it in the mud. Okay, it's in the mud. Again, PS4 Pro. Yeah, but what about the PS4 Pro on the PS? Anyways, I'm just saying. HD mode. The textures. The PS4 in 4K mode is at 43, right? The PS4, PS5, PS4, PS5 RTS on. Anyways, this is a really, like, I would do it if I could. Ray tracing on. Oh, I almost like off more, in a way. That's interesting. Like, I mean, I get it makes it brighter. It's easier to see. I don't know. I don't find it looks better. It looks different, I want to say. I wish I could make, like, I would make my own videos like this if I could, but anyways. Whoops. Okay. Wow, he really covers everything. That's the PS4 version. Still does not look terrible at all. Still a very nice looking game. Yeah. This video is probably going to sell me on playing the PS4 version, believe it or not. That is pretty incredible. The PS4 version fluctuates between 50 to 60 depending on how busy the shot. Okay. Some players who prefer stable 30 FPS are inconsistent. The PS4 Pro holds a rock solid. Right there. The PS. Oh, you know what I probably could do if I don't feel comfortable using the footage? It's taking screenshots. That might be less fishy. Tell people it came from a video that I didn't make. But then in my own words, highlight like bam right away. The PS4 Pro version holds a rock solid 60 FPS mode and 1080p, which is all I can do anyways. So why would I want the PS5 version? I mean, I get it. Ray tracing, but I don't want to play at 45 FPS. Anyways, that's a really good article. I'm going to have to copy that article. Wow, that's actually really, really good. That was really well put together video. Anyhow, I may at some point talk about it. I might even try to reach out to the YouTuber first and say, do you mind if I summarize your 15-minute video down to like a 5-minute video? And I would provide the original link to the original content. The thing is I'm not socially relevant enough that most people would get back to me. You know what I mean? It's not me looking for clout here. It's the other way around. I'm willing to give these people clout, even if they end up being a lot bigger than me. Yeah, I'm not saying ray tracing's not good. I'm not trying to discredit it. I think what I'm doing. Whoops. I think what I'm doing is I was making sure that the ray tracing in Village wasn't a big enough change that I was like, oh my God. Right? Like, can we do 1080p with ray tracing on the PS5 version? I don't think you can. I think you're kind of forced to do 4K, which I think would be fucking stupid if that was the case. But everything that I've seen, I am 90% sure I will end up playing the PlayStation 4 Pro version of the game on my PS5. I want 60 FPS, and I can only do 1080p anyways. I can only record and stream at 1080p. I don't have a 4K streaming thing. I could barely record at fucking 1080p 60 FPS. So I think I'm just going to end up with that. So that'll save me some room on my PS5. So that's one less game in the near future that I'll be putting on my internal SSD. And yeah. Yeah. And that's what I mean by the whole current gen, next gen, last gen, whatever you want to call them. The only, I know, I wish there was at least 40 people in here, but there isn't. The only thing I've been blown away with my PS5 so far, with the whole next gen thing, is load times and how sports franchise games have capitalized, for the most part, on the next gen. NBA 2K being the biggest one. Madden and FIFA, close second and third. NBA 2K21, next gen, truly is next gen. It looks noticeably better. There's different modes. Like I said, there's higher artificial intelligence, like the fidelity, if you want to use that word for the artificial intelligence, is better. Collisions, natural movements, flowing animations of ball players, it being less rigid, each ball player moving, dribbling the ball differently, more organic. Those are huge things, right? Those are huge next gen features to me. When I play Call of Duty next gen, are the ragdoll physics different? Is how he reloads his gun different with an SMG than an LMG? You know what I mean? Like, it's apart from 4K ray tracing and being able to play the game at 1080p at 120 frames, it essentially looks the fucking same. Like 100% the same. That's not very next gen like, is what I'm getting at. Again, NBA 2K, with the examples that I gave you, is much different. When ball players collide into each other in NBA 2K21, it just looks more real, like how they bump into each other and kind of move again. It's just that overall presentation and gameplay feel. To me, I would probably have to almost put, at quick thought, NBA 2K21 as my number one favorite next gen game that really, in my opinion, made use of the next gen hardware. Because even like a game like Valhalla, apart from 60 FPS and checkered 4K, that doesn't really feel next gen to me. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it, but Ghost of Tsushima and Days Gone look amazing at 4K checkered 60 FPS, and they're still running on the native PS4 version of the game. They didn't even have to recode it to be a PS5 game, so you could play that bitch on your external hard drive. That is amazing. Ghosts of Tsushima and Days Gone are probably my two favorite games in the world that next gen'd their games while yet retaining the base PS4 version of the game. If that makes any sense. So again, 4K checkered, 60 FPS, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, what? And they didn't force you to upgrade the game to the PS5 version of the game, again, chewing your very small hard drive. Like, that to me was impressive. Some other games, they didn't step up to the plate much, but they forced you to have the new version, the PS5 version. Hitman did the same thing. Marvel Avengers did the same thing. I'm just rambling. I gotta go, or I'm gonna be late. Yeah, so it's 10 o'clock. About an hour and a half from now-ish, roughly, I should be back. And I should have all the rambling out of me that I needed to do. I don't think I'll need to do too much more rambling when I come back. By the way, do I sound a bit different? Because I did some stuff to my EQ. I changed a couple of things. I lowered the bass a little bit in my voice, and I boosted the presence of the mids a little bit, so I come in, thank you, Optic Gamer, a little clearer. I don't know if you can tell. Like, it's not one of those things where you come in and go, whoa, did Phil do something different today? He sounds different. It's not supposed to be like dramatic. It's supposed to be like, it's probably nothing. Anyways, when I go side by side, like I said, I dropped my bass in the 100 hertz range, all this technical shit, by 1 decibel. And then I added an extra frequency range to my voice. So it still sounds like me, but it makes it sound more real to how my voice sounds in real life. So this is almost bang on 100% what it would sound like if I was like right next to you. You can hear it a little bit? Yeah. Again, it's not drastic, but it's just a tad, less muddy. Anyways, whatever. Back in about an hour and a half. And when I come back, I might go between WoW and Call of Duty, or I might just stick to Call of Duty. And if I feel confident that I'll stick to Call of Duty PS4 version of the game on the PS5, I will title it appropriately. I will say COD Cold War PS4 version on PS5. Like you know what I mean? Like it'll be very obvious what I'm doing in the title. And if I do that, then that means I'll more than likely just stick to that game, in which case I might bump the stream to the full whopping 60 FPS. Because now my PS5 is going to do all the heavy lifting for the game, right? And that might make the viewer experience a little cleaner, right? I mean, I don't mind 30 FPS. It doesn't bother me. But when you can get 60 FPS, I do definitely appreciate it. I find it less eye straining in a way. 30 doesn't bother me, but I definitely appreciate 60 FPS, is what I'm saying. So maybe I'll try doing a 60 FPS stream. And if I do that again, it'll be in the title. 60 FPS, COD, Cold War, PS4 version on PS5. Bam, that title right there literally tells you everything that's going on. That way I don't have to keep talking and rambling about it and recapping every fucking 10 minutes every time somebody else comes into the stream. And then I can focus more on the gameplay rather than what I did today, which was 10 minutes of gameplay and an hour of rambling. But I had fun, though. I can't lie. I like doing this shit. It's kind of like a borderline talk show-ish podcast kind of stream, right? Where I have guests come in, a few people talk, and, you know. Anyhow, I'm going to go get my ultrasound on my shoulder and x-rays on my shoulder. And I shall be back around 11:30-ish, I would imagine, because I have an actual appointment, so I don't see it taking that long. It's just my shoulder, a couple shots, and that's pretty much it. All right, thanks for stopping by, and I shall be back in about an hour and a half or so.